And we kick off with Thursday's Guardian. Another year, another budget, another missed opportunity. Lots of noise from the press and the opposition. Nothing substantial changes. Same old, same old, same old, Stephen.
Well, I mean, it's the cost of living crisis that everyone's focusing on, so that's what they've dived in on. Do you remember in the past when budgets were about kind of how we're going to enable investment in futures and new technologies and all the rest of it? Now it's about trying to push back the tide, and this is what's happened. There's three main headlines of what Sunak's doing to help. And as you can see, a lot of newspapers feel it's not much or if anything at all. It's the 5p off the fuel, and that will come in effectively.
It's already come in as we speak.
Yeah, it's already come in already.
6 o'clock this evening.
It's the raise of the threshold at which you pay national insurance, going up by £3,000 to, I think it's £12,570, and then 1 pence off in income tax. So that comes in 2024, and the national insurance will be from July.
Happened yet.
Not only will not happen yet, I think it's imminently very close to a general election, so I think it's almost a little bit of a stick with us, guys, and there'll be slightly less tax to pay.
Yeah, and also it's worth noting that with the national insurance rises that have been, projected for a long time, that he's stuck with, slashing 1p off the income tax won't make any difference anyway. He may as well have not bothered with the national insurance rise.
Yeah, I think what Rishi's saying is that, we told you we're going to punch you in the face. Well, we're going to wear slightly softer gloves. I think this is effectively what's happening here. The impact of the tax rises that he's quite honestly stated are required to cover the budget, the money shortfall that came from furlough and everything that needed during coronavirus is going to be made up for by these tax rises. But we appreciate that everything's become a lot more expensive, so these tax rises are going to come in either later or they're not going to be quite as bad as you think, which effectively kicks the can further down the road. It's a bad news budget for everybody, sold as good news because the bad news isn't quite as bad as the bad news we're expecting.
I think I understand that. Scott, now, my question to you is, Rishi Sunak was educated at Winchester. Then he did PPE at Oxford. Then he joined Goldman Sachs. Then he did an MBA at Stanford, and then he joined Goldman Sachs. Is Rishi Sunak a lizard?
Well, he has enough power to be, because lizards are very powerful.
They are powerful people.
So I believe that I think, and he's also tiny. Like a little, they're tiny lizards.
He's a little baby lizard. If you Google Rishi Sunak, the first word that is suggested to you by Google is height.
It's so strange.
I get wife and then wife worth.
Oh, OK. Well, with me, it's height. Wife worth is interesting as well.
Yeah.
It's as if the budget is one negative after another that just cancels each other out at the end. I mean, in a way, I think our lives are going to get more difficult financially. But I was most concerned with the gas and electric bills. And he seems to have done nothing about that. We keep being told again and again and again that they're going to quadruple, they're going to be larger than you can afford, and then there's almost nothing in this new budget about it.
I just feel this sense of extraordinary disappointment, because I remember when he was elected, he gave it the big one about being a low-tax chancellor, simplifying the tax system. He's got a picture of Nigel Lawson, who slashed a tax with every budget. And it's just the same. We all predicted it. It was just nothing major was going to happen, and there'd just be tiny little fiddles around the edges, and that's exactly what he's done.
It's his mini budget, because he's tiny, right?
There we go. A mini budget for a mini man.